we present an augmented reality X-ray system based on visual saliency. Augmented reality X-ray aims at visualizing occluded points of interest. When a user looks at a wall and the area behind the wall has been modeled in advance, we can combine the user's view with the occluded area. In our previous augmented reality X-ray system, we have highlighted the edges of the foreground area in order to support correct depth perception of these two layers. While depth perception was improved significantly, information about landmarks could get lost. For example, the color information of the permit zone sign has been lost. Our novel system preserves the color information of important foreground objects. Here, we show a user employing our system on a handheld screen. We employ PTAM for tracking the screen in 6 degrees of freedom. Naively rendering the occluded region fails to convey the correct depth relation. Making the foreground semi-transparent only confounds the image. Our previous system, which highlights edges of foreground objects, can lose foreground information and increase visual noise. Our novel approach selectively emphasizes important features in the foreground, for example, the bright umbrellas. Notice how important features are preserved and visual complexity is reduced. We now present the underlying method of our novel X-ray system. This is the raw video. Next, we show the individual saliency maps that we extract from it. First, we compute the luminance map, which indicates objects with high brightness. Then, we compute maps for color opponencies. This example shows the red-green opponency map. Similarly, we identify moving objects through a motion map. We then combine all saliency maps to compute the overall saliency of the image. Finally, foreground and background are blended according to the overall saliency map. The inset shows our previous system for comparison. To further illustrate the capabilities of our novel X-ray method, we now show 3 test cases to highlight how motion, color, and brightness of foreground objects affect the final composition. First, motion. Note how a walking person disappears when stopping. For color, notice how strong foreground colors, such as yellow and red, are preserved. Weak colors, such as green and blue, are suppressed. Brightness. Notice how changes in illumination affect the visibility of yellow and red surfaces in the foreground. We have compared our novel saliency-based system with our previous edge overlay system through empirical user studies. Our first study was a target acquisition task. Participants had to click on a red circle in the background of the scene for a variety of selected foregrounds. In the following, we show a reenactment of a participant performing the experimental task. The first study showed that although our novel system provides a richer context of the occluder object, it does not impede users to select objects in the occluded area. We could identify a problem in our prototype. The high levels of brightness had an adverse effect on saliency-based X-ray. In the bright portion of the X-rayed region, target objects were hard to locate. However, in the darker X-rayed region, it was clearly visible. Next, we show a reenacted version of our second study, an online survey. We instructed respondents to do a see, perceive, mark task. The images were presented to respondents one at a time. After observing the image carefully, respondents had to score on a scale of 1 to 10 how well the image conveyed information for foreground and background. After marking both of the questions, respondents had to click next to go to the next image.